Oh man, you know what would be a great idea? If they made a video game about David Livingstone. What do you mean, who? David Livingstone, you know, the Scottish Christian missionary who explored the Nile River and penetrated Africa with European colonization? That David Livingstone. Oh wait, never mind, there already is one. Yes, this game is based on a real-life guy, David Livingstone. But for the sake of this game, he was renamed Dr. Livingston. No E on the end, for some reason. Then there's Henry Morton Stanley, another real-life character and journalist who went searching for Livingstone to document his findings, feats, and accomplishments. To boil these real-life late 1800s events into an 8-bit video game centers on you taking the reins of Stanley on his trek to find Dr. Livingstone and see what he's been up to in the Congo. Let's see what's up with Stanley and the search for Dr. Livingstone on the NES. The backstory for this game takes up 4 pages in the manual, and I'm not real sure it needs to. In brief summary, Dr. Livingstone abandoned his original post to go uncover some mysteries at a temple deep in the jungle. You're a reporter named Stanley, and it turns out Dr. Livingstone hates reporters, and so he's running from you, more or less. You have to track him in the jungle by talking to NPCs, following his trail, and unlocking the mysteries of the jungle while trying not to be murdered by snakes, jungle cats, snakes, and spiders, and snakes. Even armed with the manual, which is fairly comprehensive, it won't take long for you to become a little confused about what to do. You start out in a village, and this is your opportunity to chat up the local folk and ask if they've seen the doctor. Some will tell you to go north to get a grapple. How they know it's there, I have no idea. Once you leave the village, you're taken to a map, and on the map you can select one direction away from your current position, kinda like a checkerboard. So you select to go up, or north, and you see that you're in a jungle. You're going to be in a jungle a lot, like the entire game. But depending on which position on the map grid you select to investigate, the jungle will look a little different, although many screens do repeat. So you go north and poke around in the jungle. This is where you find that Stanley has a very important feature. He can glide. If you jump and then hold in jump again before you land, or even if you fall you can do this, a propeller comes out of his hat and he can glide down. This is important because if Stanley falls even a little bit, he's kaput. But this means you can bravely venture down into caves like a drone. But be careful. Some have bottoms and others have endless chasms of death. If you do wind up killing Stanley, which is inevitable, either by falling from a ledge, from too many snake or tiger bites, or from a native spearing you to death, worry not. You get a few lives that will start you back to where you perished. If you run out of lives, you get endless continues. But beware. Don't distract yourself. You only get 5 seconds to accept the continue. Don't be like me, become deflated by another death near the end of the game, and take that time to check Twitter for a moment of respite only to look up and see the title screen. No bueno. So at this point, the flow of the game becomes clearer. Explore everything on the map, every grid, each screen, for strength and defense power-ups and clues for how to advance. Each little section is controlled by a temple that will give you some ability to get to the next section. The map is divided a few different ways, and it takes a while to catch on. Just know that this line is a river, not a path, so really don't pay any attention to it. You should be exploring everywhere, even the areas down here you can't really see. You'll die a lot and you'll get stuck a lot, but hey, it's an NES game. You start out equipped with just your fist, but as you go you'll find weapons dropped by enemies, which are always limited but often useful. Eventually you'll get a machete and a blowgun that have limitless use, and as you power up your strength by finding fists in the forest, you'll start having more fun when taking on enemies. The enemies in this game can be downright annoying though, whether it's the hit detection when you're on the ground, the trickiness of navigating past spiders, these epilepsy-inducing lightning bugs that shoot actual lightning, or these birds that pick you up and drag you around. You can kill these Hitchcock nightmares, but you have to have your timing right. There's also a weird issue with the screen scrolling. It scrolls left to right, but up and down are sometimes, not always, in tiles. So you may have to jump to see what's above you before trying to go up, or an enemy you killed just below you may respawn above you. As you move around the map, you'll meet more NPCs that will want you to do certain things for them so you can advance around on your quest for the doctor. The typical recipe is enter a new area, usually separated by the walls on the map, talk to the NPCs, locate a key, take that key to the temple, retrieve whatever is there, and then advance to the next section. It's a fun recipe, just at times a little too vague. And thanks to the infinite continues, the setbacks are never too great, which makes this one doable with enough patience, and you're going to need it. And if you do run out of patience, worry not. At any point, you can press select and take down a password for the next time you want to play. All said, it's not a great game, but once you get the hang of the loop in terms of how to move around the map, find the keys, get to the next area, it has a bit of a hook to it. It's just unfortunately riddled with a few frustrations that keep it from being anyone's favorite. As you would expect, there are no other games based on David Livingston, and yeah, like you, I'm a bit in disbelief there's one at all. Well, that does it for Stanley and the search for Dr. Livingston on the NES. Stay out of the jungle, and thanks for watching.